Alright then, let's finish up. I think this will be the last episode of the base tour. And warning, spoiler warning, there will be a lot of late game stuff now in this episode. It's absolutely like the last two techs available. And I don't know if I showed it off. I must have showed it off a lot earlier, but these two are the last tier of the Crastorio 2 tech cards, and especially this one, the advanced tech card, is the formula's really changed by Trex after the integration update. So I mean, the compatibility update. So this is the matter tech. Matter tech allows you to do all the matter transformation stuff. Advanced tech allows you to build all the late game ground machines from Castorio 2 pack, and this one's an especially very complicated formula. And this one is not so much. I mean, you just take a bunch of this junk and then some blue chips, and it makes this tech card. These tech cards, unfortunately, they can be made on ground and be productivity module, but you do have to bring them up into space to be used in either this kind of the regular space lab or the singularity lab. They unfortunately don't upgrade directly. The singularity lab is just one unit bigger, both ways. So yeah, they unfortunately you have to build like a separate setup. I have a separate setup built. So moving on, starting Deep Space Tech 3, what you need are these arcospheres. So arcospheres have there's like 8 of them. What you do is when you launch a arcosphere collector, like here, arcosphere collector right there. This is an arcosphere collector. You build them in a um, space manufactory. It requires a lot. Requires natrium cube, and requires these dynamic emitter and also even quantum process. Actually, I think dynamic emitter might be like one above quantum processor, and also a bunch of laser turrets. So you launch one of these from. Oh, and it requires antimatter. You launch one of these from one of these space probe rocket silos in a asteroid field. Now, there is there are two pools of arcospheres that you can collect. There's a general pool near interstellar void, so that's interstellar void meaning the uh, asteroid fields, and so there's one general pool in general when you launch. So see, like you don't get one arcosphere per collector. It's diminishing return. So the first one you actually get a lot, and then slowly it reduces, and then you have to launch them at different fields. And so like right now when I'm launching 24, you get 13. Previously when you launch 22, you get 12, and then at the beginning when you launch, it's almost 1 to 1, but now it's almost like 1 per 2 satellites launched. When the arcosphere gets brought back, it gets processed randomly. Like look at this formula, it goes randomly into uh, one of these arcospheres, and then you have to balance them with these crazy formulas. Don't ask me how. Just Google something. I just copy and paste someone else's blueprint, and each of the DSS3 tech cards are a arcosphere. Like it takes 2 different arcospheres, and then also There's going to be 2 versions of the recipe. Let's show it here. So yeah, this one like it'll have the input's the same, but the output is different. And there's some sort of clever triggering where the output actually randomly switches. It switches from one recipe to the other randomly. You have no control over which one the machine is doing. So I just have the Arcosphere output it into the active provider chest. It goes into circulation. It goes into balancing, and then total it makes there's one for each of these 4 tech cards, and then 4 tech cards plus Crown Eye Rod makes the catalog. It's the test, so that's the advanced intermediate. That's the most advanced intermediate here. It all takes a bunch of nacreum cube and also a bunch of nacreum plates, and also rods, Crown Eye rods, and then three arcospheres and recycled spec. So here's the other thing about arcospheres is that they are never used up in any of the recipes. They are only outputted. They're like folded into a different arcosphere. There's only one thing that uses up the arcosphere. It's a late game tech called the Arcolink storage, which uses up 10 lambda arcospheres. I haven't built any yet. I don't really know how they work, I'll be honest with you. But apparently you're able to put stuff into one chest and output it at another location. You have to build them, I believe, on the same surface and then move them. You know what? I'm not gonna guess. I'm not gonna randomly guess and or give it away. If just in the case that I'm incorrect and then I look like an idiot. Um, so yeah, this makes the Nacrum Tesseract, and then here's the very final intermediate. That's a Nacrium processor, and it requires AI. Look how much stuff this requires: AI core, a Nacrium Tesseract, as well as advanced neural gel. Um, there's one gripe. I think too many things require advanced neural gel, and that's a Vitamin product. Very like all through the production, it requires a ton of Vitamin, and that's why you have to bring in so much more compared to the other things. And I feel like that's a little bit imbalanced, and that might be a case in the K2SE or even just regular space exploration. You end up having to bring in so much Vitamin. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I have and then so half of these DSS3 packs go into the final Crastorio 2 tech card, the Singularity tech card, which allows you to build the Singularity reactor and the Crastorio 2 endgame, which actually doesn't function in this version. Whereas, I mean, you do charge the uh, intergalactic transceiver. I'll show you on the ground. So this is matter conversion happening here, and also these are singularity fuel cells. And what you could do is this is a very powerful reactor. You see that there's no other setup. You just throw the fuel into here and it works. And so it just loads with matter. Anything can become matter, and yeah, and then it works. And then this is the transceiver. Once it's charged, very difficult to charge, but once it's charged, it outputs an incredible amount of power, like almost 20 gigawatts of power or something like that. Basically, this one surface will never need another power source again. This you can only build one of these per game. Apparently you can make more, but it just doesn't do anything. So let's go back to orbit, and so here's how you make them in these gravimetric facilities. I feel like this part may need some further balancing. I guess it's in the gravimetric facility just because it requires arcospheres and outputs them, but like usually the space tech packs, I mean, are made in space manufactory, which have a let's see, it has like a crafting speed of like some insane multiplier to begin with. Here, let's see, crafting speed, like a times 10 crafting speed multiplier, whereas these only have a crafting speed of 1. So I don't know if that's an oversight in the compatibility work or not, because in the past. Uh, um, Singularity tech cards did require to be made in space, but it's just made in a manufacturing instead of in the gravimetric facility. So yeah, so output. Some will break, some will become junk, and then it goes into here, and that's the final intermediate, and then the final tech card is a bit more complicated. One of the experiments is not really complicated. It just takes two of the previous techs and then it outputs it. There's another one that's straight up just a processor plus cryonite rod plus tech cards, and that makes one of them. And then I believe there's one last one. Oh, okay, the wormhole data. Wormhole data is one that requires arcospheres for quite a bit of them, and also natrium cubes and cryonite rod. And then there's a final one here where this one is quite a bit more complicated. What you have to do is you have to produce them on a spaceship that's in flight. So this is my ship for the what's this called, interstellar travel data, and the higher speed the spaceship goes, the faster these cards are being produced. Unfortunately, I think how's this? Oh yeah, so this ship is not a success. I thought these two reactors were going to be enough to power these four turbines. It's not. It's only enough to power like two of them, maybe two and a half, maybe two, maybe three, but not four. It's not enough. It doesn't generate enough heat, and you'll see it still does work mid-flight, but you'll just see like the ship be in blackout and it'll start losing speed, which is still okay. Like it'll, and when it loses speed less, then it'll pick up. It'll pick up again just because the power will be enough. Um, so as it's flying, uh, as it's flying, it will take some of the blank tech cards and be produced into um, the interstellar travel data tech cards. And I have it such that when this gets less than half, it will basically I have it aimed at one of the furthest place possible. Here's where I set the destination. See, this is much cleaner programming compared to my original spaceships, and I have it set where when you have more than half of the, so it brings in basically 2,000 blank tech cards and should output 2,000 interstellar travel data. When the data is half, I have it set so that it turns itself around back to this asteroid belt. And oh, also the other thing is that it only starts producing the data when it's in interstellar flight. So let's look at the star map. This is our Calida star system. So basically, uh, it's not really a 3D map. It kind of, so when you travel, say like from Novice, it'll fly out to the middle line, and then it'll go down, and then it'll keep traveling down until it goes into interstellar flight. It only starts producing those tech cards during interstellar flight, so you might as well start it off at the furthest part at the closest part possible, which is the Astrobel 2. So what I've done, and I'm not sure this is a great way, this is mashed together to begin with. So I have one smaller ship that hauls out a bunch of antimatter stream, a bunch of antimatter fuel, a bunch of blank tech cards, and it'll bring back the finished tech cards. And I am surprised this is staying here. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't leave until there is enough of these antimatter fuel. And I guess I don't really have enough antimatter right now. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checks. So right now, so checks that, so everything links into the clamp pass through and it goes outside. So it checks so that there's enough ion fuel. it checks that there's a full tank of the antimatter stream. It checks that I've loaded all these canisters. Oh yeah, another thing. I want to load all these canisters. It checks that the tech cards are filled, and it checks that the finished tech cards are emptied. So the tech cards go out here, and then that's the final tech card. So it just goes into this deep supercomputer. All four of them plus cryonite rod, and it makes the deep space catalog, and then it takes the final intermediate, significant data, the catalog, the previous tech pack, also more advanced neural gel, and then also super cool thermal fluid. And let's take one more look at the programming on the clamp side for where the ship lands, and it just checks for that um, it'll leave here either when I need to load up more magnetic canisters, or when there's no more fuel, or when there's full of the interstellar travel data, and so or when there's no more blank tech cards. And you see how it's like as long as there's one check, it'll leave, instead of say like here where there's 5 checks, it'll leave. So this is a bit more of a cleaner spaceship programming lesson for you. And then the final thing that um, that we have to do to complete the game is to build a ship that will run. It'll take those interstellar data cards, and it'll run this thing called distortion drive in this nexus. And basically, this doesn't run until the spaceship goes up to 250 speed, and then you have to maintain it for 10 minutes. I failed this 2 or 3 times. I failed this like at least 4 or 5 times. Um, I think the most annoying thing about this is that you have uh, these these big boilers and these big turbines. They require a lot of fluid throughput. Um, if it's just one pipe like this, it really doesn't work very well. And so I had to have the high temperature steam be output not only this way, but also output this way. And I think I have it sorted out where it's balanced, but I don't have enough integrity to actually. I need another 500 integrity to add a bit more engines. This doesn't go. This only goes up to about 215 or so. So I think I need to add a little bit more of these antimatter engines on this side in order for it to run, and that needs at least like another level of the spaceship integrity. I can't really figure out another way to do this, so I'm just gonna leave it a bit. I'll make a video once I am successful at this, but that's this is my ship. I think I'm gonna add on to it. I know some people make a much better compact design than this, but I don't think I can really do any better. Uh, yeah, I think that's about all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this series. This has been pretty. All these builds, they work, but I mean, they do break and stuff, and that's the beauty of Factorio. Even your builds are compact, simple, thrown together. If it works, you don't need them to be neat. You don't need them to be some sort of like amazing train grid. Even though this is pretty balanced blocks, I would say. But there are actually some parts where it gets crooked, and it's impossible to fix it. I can't be bothered. I'll show you where it gets crooked, or maybe not. Mm, it happens somewhere where it becomes crooked. I can't find it. Maybe I have fixed it. Okay, who cares? Uh, okay, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I'll make another final video to just sum up this tech pack and what I think about it. Um, I'll try to sound a little bit more articulate than I am through these videos. There's no promises. And if you have any questions, I can link my Discord down below so that you guys can ask me. I'm always up for discussion about it, about helping people with Factorio or helping people play this mod. The Irondale Discord is actually an amazing place um, to talk about this pack and learn about a bit more about the game, and also if you need help, if you need to show off your builds. So I hope you guys are having as much fun as I had playing this map. I mean, has been a few parts where I actually totally left it off, and so yeah, I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed.